Welcome everybody. Today we're looking at gentle and calibrated pockets of movement snacks that you can have little bits or you can join together, and you can choose how you need it to be, or how you are being dictates it to you, because sometimes you might want to go and do 108 sun salutations. I've never actually had that desire to have 108 sun salutations, full sun salutations in a row, but you might want to do that, and yet your full being, your body is going, I don't think so, chick. Listen, it's just time to move a little bit. But one of the problems that I think most of us face is when we're heavy with fatigue or pain, when you haven't slept, when things are difficult, moving itself becomes more difficult, the very nature of moving. And I can feel myself slowing down to a point of total stillness sometimes. And that brings all sorts of issues. But it also, it brings them in different forms. How you feel, your emotions, how you talk to yourself, but also physically in your muscles, in your body. Total stillness all of the time is really not very good, and muscles don't like being left alone for long periods, and so we can find ourselves in a bit of a struggle. So that's the plan around today. So whatever we do, choose your version. There'll be many versions and options to explore, and there'll be bits of movement and pauses, and bits of movement and pauses. So see what resonates and fits for you as you are today. We'll take a moment to arrive, to land, and you don't need to look at the screen. You can push it away. You might walk around, you might stand, you might sit. But let yourself notice this moment. Look at where you are. See what you can see. Notice the sounds that hide, the sounds that are familiar. Notice what you can smell and taste. And notice the temperature of the air, how it feels against your skin. And it might feel differently against your hands as against your face. Notice clothing resting on your skin. And if you make tiny movements, increasing the awareness of it. And then take your awareness to your connection with whatever is supporting you. Might be a mat, a cushion, a chair, a bed, or your feet on the ground. And then take that awareness inside. Notice if your awareness rushes to your mind, your thoughts, or if you can let it sink and drop a little into your body. How are you nervous systeming? How are you being you? Have a little scan through and notice anywhere that might have discomfort, pain. Anywhere that feels good. Even if it doesn't quite reach the threshold of pleasure. Notice your breath and the movements through your body with the breath. Your chest, your belly. And then have a little rock. Come off center intentionally to rock back to center. Either backwards and forwards, side to side, or back to Weebles. Coming back to a place of balance. And find a little bit of stillness in that balance. See if you can bring a little bit of balance to your breath. Noticing its rhythm now and moving it into balance. Breathing in and out kind of equally, but not forcing it. Not so it's uncomfortable. An invitation to your own breath from you. And then find some intentional shift to softness. Soften your belly. Soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Your gaze. And linger there, maybe adding an audible out breath, a sigh. And then bring someone to mind who makes you feel good. Past or present, pet or person. Take a look at the screen. Smile at a face. Give a smile to a face. Receive a smile from a face. Let that settle. Linger a little bit longer. Even when you think, when you see somebody and you look at them and you think, that's a bit rude, I've looked a bit too long. Do that. Look a bit longer. It's allowed here. You're allowed to. Receive the smile for a little bit longer. And take the nourishment from that connection. Crawl back to the mat. And find somewhere to be comfortable. I'm going to be lying down shortly, but also I'll show you the equivalent sitting up or in a chair, but be wherever you need to be. And start and run your awareness back through your body intentionally through each part. You can follow my guidance, but you can follow your own. You might start with what stands out most, or you might go sequentially, noticing the top of your head and across your face, the back of your head and down your neck. And being curious what's going on, what messages are being given to you. From your neck into your shoulders and down into each arm. You don't have to do anything at this point. We're going to be moving the length of each arm and into each hand, each finger, each thumb, the nails on the tips of your fingers, thumbs. Back up the arms to the chest, noticing one side of the chest, the other side. Imagining, visualizing the heart space, the lungs. And down to the waist, the belly. Noticing the pelvis and sensing the pelvic floor, the muscles there. Through each hip joint, down into each thigh. and through your knees down to each foot. Noticing each individual toe. Then take your awareness and lovingly give your awareness completely to your feet and your lower legs. And you might lie down. I'll sit first. You might lie down. You might stretch them out in front of you. It's fine to rest back. And if you're in bed, it's okay. It doesn't affect how you sit with your feet. Same in a chair. It doesn't make any difference. Start to bring a little bit of wiggle into your toes. We're not having any toe Olympics. No toe injuries from enthusiasm. Just a little wiggle. And let that wiggle move through the whole of each foot. And without you even thinking about it, you've probably started moving your ankles. But keep it slow. As though it has to be really steady. And it can be tiny. It can be so small that somebody else watching your feet wouldn't notice. I don't know why you'd have someone watching your feet, but you just don't know. Keeping your awareness to sink and stay in your feet. You might make the circles bigger. You might make them smaller. You might stretch the toes wide and then crunch them in. You might do that to the tiniest degree. A little bit of widening, a little bit of softening. And then pause. Hold your awareness in your feet still. Give your feet, let them rest in your attention. Let them be still, nothing to do. They've done their first bit. That's all you asked of them. Then let your awareness come to your legs. Same position, I'm just moving to give you different visual options. Your awareness into your legs. So you might rock at the ankles again and let that movement go into the calves. I think I'm going to sit back down. More comfortable for me today. So as you move at the ankles and let your knees move as well, notice that there's a little bit of movement at the front and at the back of the lower legs. It can be tiny. It can be bigger. But make it as slow and as deliberate as you can. And notice that your knees have probably joined in, even though you didn't give specific instruction to them. They were like, I'm coming to this party. And we haven't got full focus there yet, but your hips have probably got a little bit of movement there as well, because it's all connected. Be playful. You can't do it wrong. Maybe rock on the heels side to side. Let your knees move side to side. Noticing how your thigh muscles are joining in. You might move your legs unequally, so one then the other. And carry on just a little more. Or stop if your body, you, needs to stop. And then pause. But let your awareness remain. Let your awareness stay in your legs. You're still noticing your feet, but noticing your lower legs, your knees, sensing into the muscles front and back. Noticing the thighs. And lingering longer. It's like, am I supposed to be still? Should we not be doing something? You're supposed to be still. You're supposed to be whatever your body would like you to be, actually. You're not even supposed to be still, but inviting a little rest, a little integration so that your brain can catch up with whatever your body's been doing. And then take your awareness up to around the hips and the pelvis. You can't get away from it. Your feet and your knees and your leg kind of has to join in. So you might do one hip at a time. It might be tiny. Might be visualized and not moving at all. But find the movement that's right for you. Taking the leg here and there. Out and in. Swapping sides. But keep it small. I include myself in this. I got to do it right. Got to make sure I've done it properly. If you want to do it, if you want the gold star for doing it, do it as small, slow, and deliberate as your body needs. Maybe add in a little bit of symmetry. Doesn't matter what it looks like. If you're on a chair, don't fall off, please. And noticing around the hip joint, and you might even tilt the pelvis a little. If you're lying flat, you can tilt the pelvis a little. If you are sitting up, you can still tilt the pelvis a little in a chair and on a mat. And that might bring a little bit of extra awareness to the pelvic floor. That pelvic floor being that bit of muscles that when you really need a wee, you have to grip tight. You don't have to grip tight right now, but notice. And maybe invite a little bit of tone there. And then pause. Pause and rest back. Whether you are seated, lying down, in bed. Let your awareness, I'm going to sit up so I can see you. Let your awareness settle and sink and drift around your hips, your thighs, your legs, your feet. And if you don't want to pause and you still want some gentle movement, do that. If you want to pause and feel into the stillness, do that. This is a good time to notice, what do I need, what do I want? And there's nothing worse than being told to keep still when you can't, don't want to, doesn't feel good. And just when you think I've been silent too long, pause a little bit more. And then take awareness to your hands. You can look at them, but you don't have to. Find some movement in your fingers and your thumbs. Maybe inviting your wrists and looking at your hands like as though you've never seen hands before. Or closing your eyes or softening the gaze and feeling as your hands and fingers move. And perhaps play with the tiny movements of the fingers and bigger movements, but inviting that to be very slow and deliberate. Noticing that you've probably already involved the wrists. You haven't just stuck to the tips of your fingers. Maybe taking some circles and noticing if you find yourself drawn to moving fast. And seeing if you can make the same movements but really slow. They don't have to be up like this. They can be resting wherever. And then pause. Let your awareness rest, remain in your hands, in your fingers. It's like sensing into the echo of the movement that was there. The muscles have still got activity even though they've come to stillness. And they're on the lookout for what's happening next. The nerves picking up any cue that you're going to move again. So linger just a little longer there. And then come back to that movement and let it move into the arms. Your hands can move as well. It can be tiny, micro. Again, if somebody looked at you, they might not see it. But intentionally bringing some movement to the muscles in the lower arms. And probably already you've got movement through the elbow and into the upper arms. You might even find your legs still want to move a little bit with your arms, and that's okay. Maybe you reach them higher, noticing that your shoulders join in. And we'll come to it, but when your shoulders join in, there's a knock-on effect in your neck and your back. Noticing your arms, your fingers through your wrists, through your elbows, up into your shoulders. And then pause. Invite a little stillness. Noticing how it might feel slightly different from just a minute of movement. Keeping your awareness in your hands, your arms, your shoulders. Lingering a moment more. And then taking your awareness up to your face. And before you move your face, feel it. And then perhaps invite a little bit of movement of your forehead. Your eyebrows have probably already joined in. This is probably not the time to look at gallery view. Maybe your nose might have a little wrinkle. Your cheeks. Notice if you move your jaw, your neck joins in a bit or a lot. Moving your tongue and your eyes. Having a little bit of squishy movement, not too strong, not too fast. The muscles of your face. And then pause. Perhaps you notice your face feels different even from those few seconds of movement. You've shifted. It might even have altered how awake you feel moving your face. And come back to that and follow down from your jaw to your neck. See if you can make some of those weird movements around your jaw and tighten your neck. And then gently moving your head. You might have a little nod, yes and no. Or a little circle. But if you circle, this is my request, circle your chin from the side and down and up, and from the side and down and up. Not backwards, because I don't know how sensitive your neck might be. We don't want any neck injuries of enthusiasm either. So some gentle movements of the neck. Notice if your jaw and your face still wants to join in. And then pause. Let your awareness remain in your neck. Noticing how it might feel slightly different. Noticing if it feels different on one side of your neck compared to the other. And lingering there, actively passive, actively still. And let that awareness drop down to your chest. So think about the upper bit of your chest. And you might invite some shoulder movement to bring some opening and closing in your chest. It might be tiny, a bit like the cat-cow movement we do. And if it feels better and you focus on the whole bit from here to here, then let your spine roll, open and close. And notice again that your arms join in, your neck joins in, your pelvis joins in. Feel into where that feels good and how much you might want to move your arms. Or if you want to have a tiny twist, keeping it slow, intentional. And pause. Notice if you're not ready to pause as well. Lingering, sensing, feeling. noticing whatever comes up. And then let that awareness from your chest drop down into your belly and more intentionally focused on your belly and pelvis. You might tilt the pelvis again, but find a little bit of movement more centered around your belly. You might contract it a tiny bit, expand it. Notice your chest joins in, your spine's joined in. You might bring that twist back, but have your awareness around your belly. And then have a wiggle, have a shimmy, and rest back for a moment. We're coming back, don't worry, we haven't finished moving. Rest back for a moment in a relaxed pause. Doesn't matter how you're sitting or lying. Perhaps your senses have gone quiet, but perhaps they've become more awake. You might notice more awareness of all sorts going on. Pause a little longer. There is no rush, there's nowhere to go, and there's nothing to do. The pause is part of the practice. The pause is part of what you need. And either stay lying down or seated or shift and take awareness back to your legs. What? We've done the legs, Helen. Yeah, but with a different view. Have a look at your legs, your feet. And perhaps this time take some bigger movements or go back to tiny micro movements in your feet or your legs. Or take some bigger intentional movements. The whole of the leg. You might bend it, you might flex it, you might do it with your feet and not the whole leg. But let your awareness be in your legs. And so if previously it was stillness, make it a micro movement, if that feels good. If it was a micro movement, make it, I don't know what's bigger than a micro, but not big. Make it a bit bigger. Let your legs have a bigger movement, one at a time. Maybe lift one up to the ceiling. I'm expecting to see feet. No, not if you're standing up. But notice what feels good. Maybe cross one over and bring it back. Or stay with the tiny movements. Noticing what you need right now, today. Maybe allow some external hip rotation, taking the soles of the feet together and letting your knees drop out. A little bit of butterfly. Same if you're seated. Just let your knees drop out. Same if you're seated. And you can support your legs. Whatever feels good. Just bringing a bit more movement. And then pause. Let your legs be still and soft. Let your awareness run through your legs. through each toe, the sole of each foot, each heel. And even when you do that, you can touch your legs, noticing the foot, noticing the toes, noticing the shins, the knees, or just be still with a hand resting on the legs and pause. And then do the same with your arms. Either be still and notice, or take some bigger movements. Maybe some circles at the shoulder. Maybe some reaching. Or maybe just some wiggles of the fingers. Noticing what feels good. Noticing what you need. Maybe cross them over. Open them wide. Cross again. Go for asymmetry. You can pretend you're dancing under a tree. Notice more of your body joining in. And then pause. You might pause with touch. Or you might pause with pure stillness. Lingering. And then taking awareness to the center of your body from your pelvis, through your belly, through your chest. And see how you can move a little more all together. Maybe tilting your pelvis. Doesn't matter if you're lying flat. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in a chair or sitting down. Feeling into the muscles across the belly and the chest and then down the back. It might be tiny still, or it might be bigger. And let that movement ripple up the spine into the head and the face. Maybe even feeling across your face as you do that. Sensing each of the muscles around the top of the head. And then pause. Find some stillness. You might want to stay stroking your skin, or you might want to come to rest. Knowing that the stillness is as important as the movement. And then making a decision, I'm going to have a little drink, as to whether you're going to stay lying down or staying seated or coming to stand up. Radical, I know. But you can do this lying down and you can do it seated as well. So any option that works for you. Just check, do I have to tip the camera slightly? Just slightly. We're going to have a little breath of joy, but I'm going to show you the micro versions as well. And it's my version anyway. It's the one I learned in children's yoga, not your classic breath of joy. So, first option, whatever position you're in, is take a breath in and lift up without moving any arms or anything. Take a breath out and soften. Take a breath in and feel out wide. Take a breath out and imagine softening down. Okay, that's the first one. Second version, and you stick at the one that's right for you. Little bit of movement, micro movement with it. Take a breath in and lift. Arms might come up a little bit, or fingers. Take a breath in, hands or fingers down. Take a breath in, hands or fingers out. Imagine your chest expanding. Take a breath in and imagine whooshing down. Bigger one, optional. Calibrate it as you need. On the in-breath, arms up. On the out-breath, arms down. We had an extra layer in here. On the in-breath, arms out. On the out-breath, back to center. On the in-breath, arms up. On the out-breath, whoosh down, as whooshy as you wish. So it can just be fingers. We'll do that bigger one once more. On the in-breath, arms up. On the out-breath, arms down. On the in-breath, arms out, opening your chest or inviting it, imagining it. On the out-breath, come back. On the in-breath, up. On the out-breath, soften your knees if you're going to whoosh down and whoosh. Gently rise and have a wiggle, have a jiggle. Move whatever you need to. Shimmy whatever you need to. Move anything you need to. Anything in any way. Have a swing, have a twirl, have a finger swing and twirl. Have a hand swing and twirl. Have arms swing and twirl. Have legs, whatever is the right bit for you. That's all. Just what's right for you. And then find stillness. Find not only stillness, but a position of comfort. Knowing that you have moved with intention, whether from micro to bigger or whatever, you have moved your whole body, whether visualized or in full. So finding a position now that allows you to rest back and settle in a guided meditation practice. And the theme or seed that I invite you to consider is to say yes to whatever is here and to have gratitude for all that I am. That's you, not me. For you to have gratitude for all that you are, but saying it in your own mind, saying yes to whatever is here and having gratitude to all that I am. So allowing yourself some time to get comfortable, take any wiggles, move, rest back, perhaps pulling a blanket around you if you're cool, or taking an extra drink. Noticing what you need and would like in this moment. Perhaps pulling on the extra fluffy socks. or switching on the heat pad and settling and resting. Knowing that this is the time for active, intentional rest. Just as much as movement, just as important as movement. Active, intentional rest. And taking awareness back to your breath and noticing what it's doing now. Maybe it's a little bit activated still, a little bit irregular, and it's going to settle and smooth. It might slow a little. And if you find your mind wandering, bring it back to your breath, and if that's uncomfortable, bring it back to the tips of your fingers. You can even move your thumb backwards and forwards between the tips of each finger. And having awareness of your whole being, your whole body settling here. Your whole body in this place, in this moment. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here. And breathing out with gratitude for all that I am. And taking awareness to the top of the head. And perhaps you can visualize the hair on the top of your head, or the skin on the top of your head. And your forehead and the tiny creases that bring expression to the world. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here. And breathing out, having gratitude for all that I am. Awareness from the forehead, moving past each eyebrow and sensing each eye, your right eye, your left eye. And perhaps you can invite a little softness to your eyes, softness to the muscles around your eyes, the little lines that develop from laughter. An awareness of that space between the eyes leading down the bridge of your nose. Maybe even taking a micro nose wiggle to increase your awareness there. And breathing in, saying yes to what is here. Breathing out, having gratitude for all that I am. Letting your awareness move from the bridge of the nose down each side into each cheek that gets rosy in the cold, each cheek that moves when you eat. And from each cheek right out to the side to each ear, your right ear and your left ear. Your ears that process all of the sound that you hear each day. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here, and breathing out with gratitude for all that I am. Moving awareness from each cheek and ear down to your mouth, noticing the delicate skin of your lips and the tiny lines on your face around your mouth from your smiles. Awareness of the jaw and your teeth and your tongue that is rarely still. How much your mouth helps you communicate, eat, taste. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here, and breathing out with gratitude for all that I am. Allowing your awareness to move from your mouth and jaw down into your neck that supports your head, your neck, the strong spinal bones, the cervical spine running down the back of your neck, supporting the front of your neck, where you have passage for air and nutrition. Your neck, connecting your body and head together. The strong tasks of the neck. You might feel some discomfort or ache in your neck for all the work that your neck does. And perhaps you don't always treat your neck with as much care as you would like as your neck. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here, and breathing out, having gratitude for all that I am. Awareness moving from your neck into each shoulder. So through the top of your neck, the top of your shoulder to the right and left shoulder joint. Perhaps you can visualize the skin on the top of each shoulder and sense the strength and movement that comes within each shoulder joint, supporting the lifting and the carrying, the reaching, the strength of your shoulder. Even on a day it doesn't feel strong, the strength remains. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here. And breathing out, having gratitude for all that I am. Awareness moving from each shoulder, gently down each arm, sensing, noticing the muscles of the upper arm, the strength in the muscles of the upper arm. Noticing whatever arises there. There may be discomfort or pain. There may be aches or tiredness. But the muscles that work, the muscles between the shoulder joint and the elbow, your muscles of your arms. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here. And breathing out, having gratitude for all that I am. Moving awareness to the elbow joints, and from the elbow joints, the complex joints of the elbow that allow movement right down to the hand. So noticing your elbows, those bony elbows that sometimes get bashed on tables or doors, and the bones of the lower arm covered in muscles of the lower arm, reaching down to the wrist. The lower arms allowing you to move and fetch and carry. You might notice an ache or discomfort. You might notice pleasure in the muscles of the lower arms. You might just notice the lower arms. Breathing in, saying yes to what is here. And breathing out, having gratitude for all that I am. Awareness of the wrists and the hands, the complex bones of the wrists and the intricate bones of the hands, the tiny muscles through each hand. The hands that allow you to do so much, even on a floppy day. Hands that you rely on. Hands that bring you pleasure, fetch things, carry things, turn things. Breathing in. Saying yes to what is here. And breathing out. Having gratitude for all that I am. Letting your awareness move slowly and gently from each fingertip and the tip of each thumb back up through your arms, through the wrists and elbows, through the shoulder joints, to the neck, so that your awareness can trickle down into the chest. Sensing, imagining, noticing your chest. The ribs, the bony basket of the chest. The heart and the lungs. Moving within the articulation of the spine at the back of the chest with the ribs, allowing you to move, allowing you to breathe. You might notice discomfort. You might notice something pleasurable in the chest. Breathing in. Saying yes to what is here. And breathing out. Having gratitude for all that I am. Awareness moving from the chest down into the belly. Noticing the spine at the back of the belly, running right down from the base of the skull through the neck, the back of the chest and down to the back of the belly, right down to the pelvis. The skin and muscles around the belly, the organs within. Noticing what sensations, whatever they are, that appear in the belly, that are already there in the belly, whether or not they'd been in your awareness. And saying yes. Yes to what is here, and having gratitude for all that I am. Breathing in. Saying yes to what is here. And breathing out. Having gratitude for all that I am. And the belly meets the pelvis. Your awareness may move down the back of the spine, right the way down to meet the bony pelvis. The bladder, the bowel, reproductive organs, sexual organs, the muscles over the pelvis, the pelvic floor. Noticing whatever arises there, whatever sensations. And breathing in. Saying yes to whatever is here. And breathing out, having gratitude for all that I am. Awareness moving through the whole of the torso, through the pelvis and through the hip joints. Noticing the left hip joint, the right hip joint, the pelvis attached to the leg. Noticing the thighs of each leg, the strong muscles of the thighs that come up right to the hip joint. Breathing in. Saying yes to whatever is here. And breathing out. Having gratitude for all that I am. Moving your awareness from the hips, through the thighs, down to the knees and the lower legs, and noticing the intricate movement of each knee, the kneecap on top of the joint and the muscles of the calf and the shin on each leg, and how your legs carry you from place to place. You might have discomfort. You might notice something good. Breathing in. Saying yes to whatever is here. And breathing out. Having gratitude for all that I am. And awareness moving through the whole body, right down through the torso, through the legs, down to the ankles and the feet. The many bones of the ankles and the feet supporting you to move around, to walk, to run throughout your life in different ways and stages. Noticing the soles of your feet that connect to the earth. Noticing each individual toe And whatever arises there, whatever sensations are present, breathing in, saying yes to whatever is here, and breathing out with gratitude for all that I am. Letting your awareness settle in your whole body, your whole being, your whole self as a body. Noticing where your attention is naturally drawn, but seeing if you can incorporate, hold your whole self in that awareness. Yourself as a body. Breathing in. Saying yes to what is here. Yes to what is here. And breathing out with gratitude for all that I am. Gratitude for all that I am. And then taking a deeper breath. Beginning to notice the sounds around you. Beginning to make some tiny movements. Maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes, and maybe having a stretch. And perhaps taking an intention into your day to notice what you need and calibrate the movement that you need at any time. And saying yes to whatever is here. And having gratitude for all that you are. Thank you everybody for joining us. I'm going to go and stop the recording and check in with the Zoom room.